Yo, what is good, people, and welcome along to today's video. Now, before I show you what actually happens here, why don't I show you what the video was supposed to be about originally. So we do go to the small village of Kinver today, in particular Kinver Edge. Quite a few locations I am going to be showing you today. It's not just one or two, I think there's like 6 locations in total. So yeah, that's just a little snippet there. So let's show you what we're going to be seeing on the LiDAR, or hopefully what you're going to be seeing on the LiDAR. So that bit there is the National Trust houses. Then you follow the ridge down, you got Nanny's Rock and Vale's Rock just off the bridge, and then you've got Drakelow's here, which is a combination of tunnels and rockhouses, and also another little area here. You can't see much on the LiDAR, but there is something there. And yeah, that's the sort of stuff you want to be looking out for on the LiDAR, like I said previously, impressions and whatnot. And yeah, this is another pretty fascinating place. It's actually quite funny where that's located, but more on that when we get to it. And then yeah, just a little mention on this place as well. We did visit it towards the end of the day. As you can see, first off, we're going to be going to Drakelow Caves. Now, some of you may have already seen this before, but I don't think you would have seen it in the depth that I'm going to be going to. And like with my previous videos, I'm trying to paint a picture, so if you do end up going to places like this, you know exactly where you're going. And for those of you that can't get to places like this, hopefully my videos make you feel like you're there anyway. So yeah, this is the path you want to be taking up. There's actually a new fence here. It wasn't here when I last visited a couple of months ago. So it's clear it's had a little bit of attention and whatnot, and they now don't want people to see it. But that's where we're going to be going. And you could easily walk past this if you didn't know where you were going and not see it, really. And yeah, ignore this sign here, because I do. Basically, if I see a sign like this, I think it's telling me to go and have a look because there's something hidden there or whatever, and 9 times out of 10 it's usually the case. And yeah, as long as you're respectful when you go to places like this, I don't see the problem. Like I say, I'm literally just going here just to document these fascinating places, because that's what they are. They're awesome bits of old world architecture. No matter what anybody says, that's exactly what they are. So yeah, as you can see, this isn't a small little rock or small little cave in a rock opening sort of thing. This is quite a substantial property. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to hopefully, well, not hopefully because I already know how it's playing out, but I'm putting chapters in the descriptions below so you can pick and choose what you want to see when you want to see it. But yeah, I'm going to be showing these places in its entirety. That's why this video is a little bit of a long one today. But yeah, at the same point, I do feel it's beneficial for you to see as much as possible. I did try cutting bits and bobs out, but it was just a case of what do I cut out, which yeah, like I say, I don't want to be cutting things out. But yeah, hopefully you can see here like all the different angles and whatever in the rooms. Like it's 90-degree angles, which, come on, if you're using picks and whatever they're supposedly using, that's pretty awesome, wouldn't you agree? And just yeah, the sheer amount of, let's call it render, whatever it is, yeah, just the sheer amount of that's still left on display sort of thing. But yeah, like I say, this place is fascinating. This is just one of several places I'll be showing you today. And I do plan on going back a couple of more times because there's, but trust me, you'll see it once I've released all my videos, but the amount here is just unbelievable. It's mind-boggling just how much is here. But then when you Google it, usually it's only the National Trust houses and maybe one or two others that pop up on a regular basis. A lot of these places are actually hidden out of the way, as you've seen with this one. It's not easy to get to. But yeah, so I'm just gonna point things out as and when I see things, and when I don't, I'm just gonna stay quiet and just let you marvel in this just awesome engineering. Because yeah, I do feel like this is one of the last remaining connections we have with our superior ancestors, because let's face it, that's what they were. I know I've said it before, but you know, they don't even know how to make these places right in this day and age. I mean, it took a lot of time and effort to like sort out the National Trust houses that they have on show now. Yeah, it fascinates me. And yeah, obviously places like that's a little chimney place there. Well, it felt like a chimney place to me. But yeah, each and every place, it's almost meticulous in its design. It's got a room, it's got like a storage area, the windows, the doors, all the angles, even the roof had sort of like, felt like in places it was either an apex sort of design, and then other parts it was just curved. And yeah, we're not even done yet, so it does go around the corner, as you are about to see, and it also goes up as well. So yeah, hopefully you can appreciate the direction I'm taking with my videos. Like I say, I want you guys to feel like you're there, or if you do go to these places, you know exactly what you're looking for. Because I tell you now, I didn't come across this, like, it wasn't easy. It took a lot to find everything that I found in Kinver so far. Endless research, multiple visits. The amount of books I read was unreal. I even read a book from the late 18th century, and believe it or not, it's supposed to be a fictional book, I believe, but some of the things they were saying, I actually managed to find a few more places in Kinver because of this book. So yeah, it just goes to show when you put a bit of time and effort and research into places like this, you can actually find quite a lot. And yeah, this is just the beginning, but it is also a fascinating, let's call it a complex. It is a fascinating complex nevertheless. So as you can see, they're all pretty much designed the same. Just reminds me of like a block of flats where, yeah, everything takes on the same form and design and whatnot. Yeah. What I think I'm going to do now, just for the last few minutes of this one, I'll leave you alone with your thoughts and a bit of music. So we are almost done with Drakelow's, but just before we are, let's go and check out the penthouse that's up here, shall we? And I will just say I took a wrong turn here and ended up going a difficult way. So yeah, if you end up going near yourself, keep your eyes peeled, because there are far easier ways than the way I'm showing you this way, yeah. Now the name Drakelow is meant to be Anglo-Saxon in origin, and it supposedly means the mound of the dragon. So legend has it that a dragon used to use this place as its lair, but then the narrative also claims that the tunnels were built in the 1940s, so I'm not sure which one it was. Then the caves themselves have been lived in for centuries, and Drakelow even has a school, had a school and a couple of other buildings which were left to decay and later destroyed. There are more caves in this area which are harder to reach, but hopefully I do come across them one day. Yeah, hopefully you found this one, the first one, pretty fascinating. So let's head on to the next one, shall we? And it's not too far from Drakelow's, as you can see here. Now this is where you want to be aiming for. There is like a bend in the road, but there is a little section where you can park up. Hopefully you can make out the path that I'm trying to take, or the path that I'm trying to show you here. I have mentioned this and shown this briefly before, and for now I'm just calling it Octavia's Cave, because I did come across this while I was out with her one day, and I haven't found much mention of it anywhere else. But yeah, if you can correct me, please comment below. Now try and pay particular attention here, because this is where you need to veer off the path. And it also, just before this, to the right, there's what looks to be foundations of a building, but for some reason I can't seem to find the footage, but just take my word for it. Now take this path and head towards the road. Oh yeah, the road runs right next to it, so there are actually easier ways in here, but where would the fun be in that, eh? So anyway, this is a small cave in comparison to Drakelow's, but it's still a dwelling of some sorts. You've got a storage room, and I'd say like a living and a sleeping section as well, as you're about to find out. So this one sort of feels like nature has taken over. There's water seeping through the roof, there's remnants of rock falls, and then there's this piece here which obviously used to be up there at some point in time. And also just here I hope you can make out the internal wall, which is what I do feel like 2 rooms plus the storage. And I also feel like it goes down a little bit further. Now I'm not saying a great deal, but yeah, the whole floor was basically made up of leaves, plant matter and whatnot. There's also a bricked fireplace here and what appears to be a chimney, which, as you can see, nature has taken care of. Then if we head up to the top of this cave here, you'll see what looks like the foundations for 2 buildings, a bit like what I mentioned in the lead up to this cave, but these are better examples. Now hopefully you can make out the blocks. Pretty awesome, don't you think? Now I do see this quite a lot in this area particularly, so just keep your eyes peeled when you are here, because there are other places like this as well. It's not just caves. And yeah, I think these used to be buildings of some sort. What do you guys think? So we're now 2 down and on to the next one. Well, 2 here. So there's a National Trust car park here. So park up here and cross the road and then follow this path. And if you do the trails around Kinver, there's a good chance that you will see these places if you are willing to put the miles in, that is. But yeah, after a few minutes you'll come across this junction. Now go through this gate. And just be warned, cows do graze here and have surprised me on occasion, especially during the summer. Head over this fence. Again, take care when you're doing these sorts of things. I have hard hats with me, and I always have a page with eyes on me, or at the end of a walkie-talkie. So like I say, treat these places with respect and understand the dangers, and I don't see the problem in going to places like this. Shout out to the lady on the horse. Anyway, this is Vale's Rock, another complex. And this has got a well with it, which if we have a look down, it doesn't appear to go too far, as you can see the number plate. Now I do plan on going back here though and trying to find out, because I've also read there's a natural unlimited spring below the surface of Drakelows. So this place, National Trust I believe, looked at doing it up, so you will notice the odd new section and just see how it naturally blends in. Such amazing techniques these days. Well anyway, I think they deemed it unsafe, so I've pretty much left it. So it's literally been vandalised throughout the years and whatnot. And obviously nature's taken its toll as well. Something I don't agree with. Well, not with the nature bit, but the vandalising and whatnot. These places should be saved. They're unbelievable. and how you just leave them to rot is beyond me. And again, if you look, just perfect angles everywhere, and this isn't a small place, like I've said. Again, nothing wrong with a bit of patchwork there, is there? And I'm not even going to point out the obvious straight lines between the layers of the rock here, because there's just nothing to see there, is there? Who am I kidding? Anyway, door hinge here maybe, perhaps? I don't know. Yeah, just more signs of strengthening, or I believe they tried to strengthen it at some point. Like I say, they did try and do it up to get money off the public, but I think it backfired. And yeah, these bricks, I don't think these are here because of the National Trust. And yeah, here coming up, I think I showed this at Badger Dingle in the tunnel, but do you notice the difference? Almost like it's two mixes, done at different times perhaps? I don't know. Again, what do you guys think? That clearly looks to me like it's two different casts of sandstone, if that's the right way of wording it. And yeah, more render here as well. And what also appears to be wooden stakes in the sandstone, and this is a pretty common feature as well. So yeah, I've been visiting Kinver my whole life, and I've seen all this stuff numerous times, but it still fascinates me. Even watching the footage back now as I'm like doing the editing, it's like, just imagine what these places used to look like. And yeah, I do come across a solitary bat here, but I do get out of the way pretty sharpish. I'm also amazed I don't see more wildlife in these places. And yeah, I'd say there was a fireplace there of some sorts. And yeah, here, another shoddy attempt. So I'd really think if they were repairing these places, they should be replicating it to the best of their abilities. So it just shows that their abilities aren't great. And do you notice the older brick here? So it kind of makes me think at some point this extended out further. And I don't think this is like a National Trust job either. And it also sort of backs up what I've said about other places, how they feel like they extended out further at one point in life. Now this place, either a fireplace maybe, or some idiot starting a fire, I'm not sure which. Pretty random block work here. Vibes of, I don't know, top of maybe a brick wall perhaps. And yeah, if you look at this, they even had drainage of some sort as well. Pretty fascinating stuff, isn't it? Now these blocks here make me laugh. It feels like they've been placed here for some reason. I don't know, trying to scare people maybe. But yeah, if you just look at them, they don't look like they've fallen. Well, they might have fallen at some point, but they don't look like they've fallen into that position. But then again, nature's pretty awesome, isn't it? So this brick wall and archway felt like it come from a different period as well. And yeah, just showing you behind the back of those fallen bits of rock there. You'll also see like more old brick walls and whatnot. Excuse me. And then yeah, a random stone put here for whatever reason. Poor attempts to keep us out maybe. I don't know. But yeah, if we look here as well, I think that might have been like an old chimney of some sorts, but again, that's just me saying what I see, sort of thing. Playing a bit of catchphrase, as it were. And yeah, you can just make out the old windows and the door frames. Like I said, this place is pretty fascinating. And yeah, we're not even over yet. It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, it's even more signs of pipe work in the ground as well, which I find pretty fascinating, because it just shows that the work lived in properly, and depending on how far this pipe work and whatnot goes back, shows that there might have actually been more equipped than we're led to believe. But yeah, this is pretty much like Drakelow. It goes on. Yeah, hopefully here you can see the blocks. There's a couple of blocks here that I found around the side. Well, they give me the vibe that there were blocks. Looks like there's 2 blocks side by side. A couple more here, and then also some more brickwork as well. So then we come to a bit of rock climbing. It's not really, but anyway, yeah, and it brings you to the remains of, well, I'd say it was the remains of something prior to all this rock collapse. Let's face it, the rocks that I'm now stood on had to come from somewhere up there. So yeah, it makes me feel like this also used to be something at some point in time. So yeah, if we come down here and just veer down to the right just a little bit, we'll come across a couple of storage areas. Well, what I'd say were storage areas that don't feel like they're big enough to be lived in. But again, I don't know how much of this is like, you know, missing or whatnot. It could have extended out a great deal. I don't know. I'd love to go back in time and see these in the prime and whatnot, as I'm sure most of you guys are as well. But yeah, that's the end of it. Nah, I'm joking. There's a little bit more. So instead of going that way, turn around and head back the way that you come from. So walk along the path sort of thing. And yeah, make your way up to the top. And there's more storage areas out there. Again, like I said, just like Drakelow's, got its own little penthouse type thing on the top level. So yeah, it's smaller than downstairs, but it's still impressive nevertheless. There's even what appears to be an old brick floor here. Well, what's left of it anyway. Crazy, the angles of the rooms, the windows, the doors, all done for a purpose. And yeah, another, I'd say, chimney type place there, chimney feature. Yeah, like I say, hopefully you guys see it as well, just how fascinating this place is. And like I say, this is only just like scratching the surface. I haven't shown you that much yet. I mean, I've shown you a couple of locations now, but still nothing compared to what is actually in this location. So that is now 3 down, and if you get back on the path you were on before veering off for Vale's Rock, and follow it up and around to the left, until eventually you are met with Nanny's Rock. And this again is an awesome place, and one right on the path, so it's not too hard to miss. There's signs of sandstone everywhere and you are literally walking on the stuff as you walk around Kinver as well. So yeah, this here is just the side of the actual main cave, so I'll show you this first. Again, gave me vibes of some sort of storage facility, a storage area of sorts. So this is your way in, what looks to be a water channel, but I think this is more to do with the weather, as I have actually found mention that these particular caves have been lived in for centuries. Well, not no longer, but they were lived in for centuries. So yeah, I don't think it would be the case if it were used for water, but that's just what my research has shown up so far. Now I did get chatting to somebody here who was just as fascinated and in awe of these places as what I was. So shout out to you if you did manage to give me a follow and you are watching this. Apologies I didn't get your name, but it was really nice chatting to you fella. Now, as I've mentioned, I have done quite a bit of research in my time on Kinver, and I did come across a mention of a tunnel at Nanny's Rock connecting to a nearby cave. Now, although I can't prove that at the moment, and yeah, it would be nice to, this corner gave off a particular vibe to me, and the floor, it also seems different than other places. It's a lot softer and almost dirt-like in appearance, not sand as you would expect. Heading outside now, and hopefully you get some idea of how high up we are. And yeah, it's not too much of a fall, but I think it would still do some damage if I slipped and fell. And yeah, I haven't forgotten, we are coming up to that video, I do promise you. It's another awesome place. I hope you guys agree. And you should also be able to make out like the two chutes, or that's what I'm gonna call them, outside leading up, which I suspect were chimneys at one time or another. Well, that's Nanny's Rock over with, but I do just want to mention a little place here. So if you're heading towards, back towards Vale Rock, and just before you get there, if you take a right, you'll be met with this. Now, granted it's not much now, but it appears like it used to be a lot more. Let me know what you think. Also, I just want to shout out anybody that's made it this far in. I do appreciate you. I hope you like what you're seeing so far. And like I say, I hope you feel like you're there with me, or if you go in there, I hope you have quite an easy time trying to find these locations. Right, so let's get to the last one. Well, last but one. And this just so happens to be one of my favourites, mainly because it took some time to find, even though I had a rough idea where it was. Now, this is called Gibraltar, or possibly Dunsley Rock, I believe, although I could be mistaken there. So yeah, again, head this direction. I'm not going to tell you exactly where to go with this one, but use that sixth sense that I was on about before, you know, the common sense, and I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out for yourselves. And you might even have a chuckle to yourselves as well, if you do stumble across this place. I know we did, and we almost gave up the first time we went there as well. That was until we ventured a certain way. Start off with this lovely brick wall through my feet. Let's get into it. As you can see straight away, another cave with what I describe as earth pushed up to it. Now, we are by a canal and a river, but I fail to believe the water has done this if you see how high we are above the water line. So yeah, it's just signs to me that it has been piled there. And as we go through this cave, you'll see cracks in the ceiling with what appears to be vegetation seeping through. And just here we have what appears to be, let's call them nails. They do appear to be nails, seem to have been knocked into the actual sandstone itself. Yeah, if there's anybody out there that would care to explain to me how this has happened, yeah, just leave me a comment below, would you? Because I'm absolutely flabbergasted by it, to be honest with you. Yeah, if we keep looking here, you'll see what appears to be lime or whatever seeping through the walls. And yeah, there's even tree roots and whatever else pushing through the sandstone as well. Now excuse the winter sun here, it does, it can get a bit blinding in places. And yeah, hopefully you can make out more brickwork here, which is actually covered in, you guessed it, ivy. Again, another common feature whenever you go to these sorts of places. Ivy, stinging nettles, holly bush, you know, that sort of stuff. And yeah, here's coming up is another cave. It's a little bit trickier to get into because of that rock fall there, but yeah, you can still get into it. Hopefully here you can make out how easy the layers come away in my hands. No fancy tricks, no special effects, no nothing, just literally pulled it away from the wall and then pulled the layers away. I really do feel like there's more to these places. And I do urge all of you, if you do have the chance to go to these places, do it. And hopefully you are all in awe, just like I am. So yeah, it's one thing seeing it on camera, and it's another thing seeing it in person. It's just, you get a whole different aura about the whole place, or I do anyway. That's my personal opinion on it. So we are now just a few minutes from the moment I guess quite a few of you have been waiting for. But first, let's show you what else I found. And now, take note of this rather easy path I take to get here where I'm about to show you. Take note of the earth as well. I feel like it's been dumped there with yet more signs of openings. It really does make me wonder just how big this place once was. I mean, you've already seen Drakelow's and you've seen Nanny's. So yeah, it really does make me wonder just how big this was. Don't you all agree? So yeah, there's even one opening here that's being used as storage or dumping, I don't know. Coming up this next bit here, I'd actually hazard a guess. Well, I'm willing to bet everything I own when I say this. But yeah, digging there I think will uncover so much more. Now, remember the fairly easy route I used to get up to this place? Well yeah, I don't know why I didn't just go back that way, but instead I felt the urge to go this way. And it really was on soft ground, and it was wet, and it was steep. And this was the end of the day. So I was tired as well, and I almost slipped here, which is why Paige actually started recording. Because I'm crazy. Why have I come down this way? What? Why'd you make me do this?
I didn't.
I'm telling you now. I actually feel quite bad now.
I'm telling you now.
A lot of you
That is
have
not
waited
natural.
all that time to
This
see me
all
end
of
up
this
on
is
my
not-
bottom, and it doesn't happen. I'm so sorry. I feel like a few of you were disappointed, and I swear I've even heard a groan or two. But sorry, you will have to wait to see me make a tit of myself. Oh, how mean am I? So yeah, I thought I'd finish part 1 off here with a little mention of this cave. Now, light was fading fast, so it is just a short one, but I do need to go back, as I've said. There's loads more I can and I will be showing you, and more that you haven't seen, well, that I'm confident you haven't seen as well. But anyway, I hope you've all enjoyed today's video, and do tip your tour guide accordingly. I've been Nicky B, and until next time.